How to win with expired leads any day. Are you showing up with a real strategy or just another sales pitch?
Welcome to the Open Books Podcast, where we discuss all things real estate, helping you take the road less traveled to real estate success. I'm here with my co-hosts, Brooke Massey and Casey Tuter. My name is Curtis Haddock, and we are thrilled to have you guys. If you like today's content, please like, subscribe, comment, share. Be our friend, or don't be our friend. Yeah, be our friend to the end.
Follow me.
If you don't like us, you still need to like the content.
Yeah, well, the reality is someday we're going to have 1 million subscribers, and the people that weren't our friends, they're going to feel like they were going to feel let down. And it's going to be their fault. My New Year's resolution this year was to get more haters, because the more haters that you have, the more success that you're having. Well, I think the actual saying is the more success you have is the more haters you have.
Yeah.
So the logic doesn't go reverse, huh?
I mean, because you could
get it. I get it.
Yeah. Well, that is true. The logic doesn't go in reverse, but I'm going to assume that if I amass more haters, it's because the success is coming.
As long as you don't turn the people that already like you into haters.
There you go. Yeah. Well, that happens. That
is true.
The more success that you have, you got people that can't handle it around you, and they're like, man, they get jealous or whatever, and then they start hating on you.
Yeah, if someone makes more money than me, I just don't talk to them anymore, so I totally get it.
I mean, is that why we haven't talked in a long time?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, today...
I need to make more money then, for multiple reasons.
Talk about making more money. There's a lot of money left on that table right there. A table of expireds.
Ooh.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. These people have already listed a home and were not successful for whatever reason. And so, let's call them and figure out what's going on.
Love it.
Well, I think that, we'll get into it. Today, we're going to talk about how expired sellers are defensive. Well, they're defensive for a reason. We'll talk about those reasons. A big problem is, and really in sales in general, is you got to stop pitching before you diagnose the problem. Yeah. And I have a lot to say about that, and that was actually one of the comments I was going to make. And then high value consultation is what builds trust rather than just confidence alone. And I think a lot of people just go in with this if they are confident and they go in thinking I can get any deal that I want to, it just takes commitment and follow up, which is true, but you'll convert so much more if you focus on the high value consultation. Like, what value are you bringing to the table, especially after you diagnose their need? So that's what we're going to get into today. Let's start with expired sellers are defensive for a reason.
Which makes sense. They probably just went through months of it being listed, and their agent probably didn't do anything, or they didn't give them feedback, or they themselves made the realtor overprice it, or made the realtor and controlled their job, and it still didn't work. And so I feel like they can have multiple different emotions: frustrated, sad, whatever.
What do you think the number one reason for agents to not want to call expireds?
Cold calling.
I mean, yeah, I think that's probably true. It's cold calling.
It's longer.
Okay, let's say they're. I know agents that are good at cold calling, and they still
don't do it.
They still don't want to call expireds. Is it because they think that the sellers are going to be difficult to work with and defensive?
I don't know.
I think that there's a mindset out there that it's an expired. It means that it didn't sell.
Oh, it is a hard property.
Nobody wanted it.
That makes sense.
And I think people who have that mindset believe that that it doesn't matter what agent puts it on the market, and that there's no value that they could possibly bring to the table.
And it's dumb because, like, I've always said, like, it's probably just from my previous career, but man, I love coming in and cleaning up somebody's mess, and it makes me look like the hero
and getting it sold
and seeing it. It's just like a puzzle piece. Like, somebody else did it for 6 months. Now I get to analyze the crap out of this whole thing. Did the seller do something wrong, or my experience, most time it's the realtor that did something wrong. And like I said, I did to come in and be like, wow, like, well, I'm not going to post 50 photos of the house, first of all.
It proves that there is value in what agent you hire.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think that people who stay away from expireds because it didn't sell the first time, I think that those are not agents you would want to hire anyways, because they think all you have to do is stick it on the MLS and it will sell. Mm-hmm. And that is not true at all. Because if that were true, then for sell by owners who do these entry only deals, they would get their house sold every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah. I have an agent right now he does like commercial stuff, but he's mad at me right now because I have a listing in our neighborhood and we keep dropping the price. And he's like, your sellers need to rent that out. And it's like, dude, do you think I want the price per square foot in my neighborhood to go down? No, but they're not going to rent it out. And how long have you been listed? A week? Well, where's all your offers at?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we haven't had any yet, but we've had a couple previews. I go, previews? I just put the pressure on him. Like, asked him all, like, where's your buyer? Like, oh, were they pre-approved? Like, don't.
So he has his house up for sale too, and didn't use you? Who'd he use?
Well, he works for a different company.
Like he's an agent?
Yeah, but he doesn't practice in the residential side.
Oh, so he signed up for the MLS and went ahead and just did it. Right?
No, he's got his broker doing it. And he told another agent here that he didn't use me because I can't sell houses.
What?
He's literally that seller of like, list it and you get it done, like no excuses. And it's like, why do people refuse to admit that there's a market?
Yeah,
they take that part out of it. And with expireds and all sellers, what ends up happening is they end up, the public, because you want a sale, so you end up letting them train you and educate you and set expectations to you, when really it's our job to set the expectations.
Yeah.
So if I have a listing that goes expired, I know I tried everything I could to list that, and if it didn't sell, it's because they didn't do what I told them to do.
That's what I want. If I ever have a listing that doesn't sell and it expires, then I want it to 100% guaranteed it's because the seller did not listen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every single time.
There are situations where they like just don't have the equity or something like that. So, but that's okay. But also we've set the expectation of like, we may not be able to sell this. You may be keeping it.
And it may take
unless
a year.
You're willing to bring money to the table.
And if you don't have it, then sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But back to the original topic of sellers get defensive for a reason. I mean, I think Brooke, kind of hit the nail on the head here. It's like they just went through most likely months and months of being hopeful, of keeping their house, as clean as it can possibly be. Having, not being able to live like you normally live because you're worried that a showing could happen at any minute.
You gotta live in a clean house. Oh my God.
I know. But you have kids, man.
I got kids. I get it, but
your house is not on the market.
I always say this. I hate that part, and that's why I always talk about days on market. I'm like, this is the worst part of selling your house, and I get it, and I hate it for you guys. That's why we're trying to do it faster. But
But then again, I'm always thinking you hired me to sell your house. Like I didn't call you and say, don't you want to sell your house? Like, I think it's a good idea. Shouldn't we? It's like you're the one wanting to sell your house.
Yep.
And you want to make money, right?
Yeah.
So
keep it clean.
Do it.
Yeah. I have a seller right now, and it's a hard listing. Hopefully it doesn't go expired on us, but this listing is probably like a high likelihood it could, but they also need to. I don't think they would not do it, but now I forgot where I was going with it. Oh, she messaged me, and there's been a couple times, and she's like, hey, I can't do showings on this day. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I do it like once because I get it. People have lives, but also like, you're wasting a days on market every time we block off a showing, and it could have been the potential your next buyer. And so she started, I did it like twice, and it was like over a month span. And then she sent me another one. She's like, okay, on Sundays, can we not do showings until after 3? And I was like, ugh. So
did you set the expectation the first time she wanted to block a day off?
I did, to be fair.
They always do this even once you you even try to tell them, they still do it.
To be fair for this lady, we've shown it 55 times. It has solar panels that have to be assumed. She has zero net, and she has to sell her house. So,
well, what do you mean she has to?
Going.
So, like, is she going to foreclose if she doesn't?
No, she can keep paying the bills, but her family is all moved completely to like Georgia or something crazy.
So she doesn't have to. She needs to.
She needs to. Yeah. Better words. But I had to like come back and I was like, hey, like that's fine, but I just need to let you know this. I know this is a terrible part, and I don't want to start doing this because then a lot of people like to go view houses on Sunday. That's why open houses are always so popular on Sunday. So we don't want to start nixing our time. And she came back and she's like, you're right.
Hey, with solar panels, do you think that you could just take them off?
You can, but they still have to.
No, I mean, that's what I mean. Take them off. And you just keep paying it.
We've talked to her about it. We've even talked to them about
the move.
That's not a great idea.
We've told them to. The roof's all messed up. You'd have to replace the roof too.
Yeah, because the roof is damaged when you do that. It's very expensive to take them off.
I actually have
and
two.
Then you're still paying.
Oh, reason 135 that you shouldn't get solar panels.
Yes.
It's
unless you're going to live there for. And
no one does.
They don't. But also, you're paying more money while you are making the payment.
Some of them don't even work right, and then you can't get a hold of the
and you company. Repair them. And they lie to get people.
They definitely lie.
If you want to live out off the grid, like outside the city, and like have a little homestead,
put that crap on the ground.
Put it on the ground. That's great. Do that, but don't. But you got to not tie it into OG&E. That defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have two listings right now. Both have solar panels. Both have to be assumed.
And it's becoming more and more, I feel like.
It is. And we're actually found a buyer on the other listing, which it took us 62 showings to get one offer. And we're having a heck of a time right now with the solar loan company.
I got my solar panel house sold in a week. So if you guys need someone, don't call me.
Did they have to be assumed?
Yeah, it had to be assumed. But actually, in fact, what
was
happened
this 2020?
This is this year. This was just this couple
I'll
weeks
give
ago.
you two listings right now, Curtis.
So what happened was
one's under contract.
The solar panel company that installed it, that provided the warranty, and also said that it could be assumed by someone who buys the house. They sold it to another company, and that company does not allow it to be assumed. I don't know who bought it. But now whoever was going to buy it can't even try to assume it, so they would actually have to get private financing.
Can you find out that information about what company it was?
I'll try to find out. Yeah, I'll try to find out. 'Cause we're still working with them. Yeah.
I mean, finish your story, but like I have this issue, and then also an agent of mine called me yesterday, and she has a buyer trying to assume, and it's the same company as ours, and
they won't let them.
She got all kinds of miscommunication, and we're like, no, we get this, and then literally this all happened yesterday.
There's an attorney here in the city.
Oh, is there?
Mm-hmm.
That does
and
what?
Then these solar buyers, they got denied from their loan. They can't call the solar loan company, and they didn't even tell them why they got denied. And it's like, what?
They need to call an attorney.
Yeah.
Because I would venture to say that the first company probably sold them on an assumption, and then the second one is now saying no. I would assume there's some kind of legality there that's
for
not
sure.
right.
Yeah,
for sure.
But
I can almost guarantee you there's some legalities in all of that can be poked around.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they're
someone's
very
be willing to poke it.
Yeah, because they're very secretive, and like I said, there's no phone number. Even our own seller that owns the solar panels has a hard time doing it. But to answer your question, he was able to get a roof claim, and he could get his roof replaced, and he could take the solar panels, and he's thought about it, taking it with him because he moved out of state. But it's just a huge expense, and we've told him, and he's like, that's kind of the last resort I want to do. He may have to rent it out, but I don't even know if he's going to get good rents.
But it's like the last resort after you've lost 50 opportunities with buyers.
Yeah, and you were sold on this idea that it's going to increase your value of your home.
To be fair, this guy, his dang ex-wife did it, and so he just got stuck with it. And so he understands. The other house
is completely
outside.
Call an agent first. I'm just saying.
Yes.
You don't have to call an agent just because you're buying and selling.
Just ask us questions.
If you want to paint something, Like,
yes.
I would love those messages.
Gosh, what was it? Someone did. Oh, no. What was it? Oh, no. Okay, I just had an agent that is listing a house, and they did. I don't remember everything that they did, but they did like 4 or 5 things. They got an appraisal that was done, like earlier, like maybe 6 or 7 months ago.
Like a random outside appraisal or something?
Yeah. Well, it was just a random appraisal that they did 6 or 7 months ago. I think they might have refinanced or something.
Oh, okay.
And the appraisal came back for like $263. Okay. So then they did a few things to their house and, replaced the roof because it needed to be replaced. Things that just don't increase the value.
It's just maintenance.
And so our agent went in and was like, okay, did comps. They had no idea an appraisal had been done. And you know what they told them the value was?
Probably 225 or something.
260 to 265.
Oh, okay.
They were right spot on.
That's good.
And that's exactly. And then the seller came clean and said, not that they were trying to hide, like, well, that we did get an appraisal done. The appraiser said about 263, but we did this, and this, so we want 275 because we want to get our money back. And I'm like, so because we just put all this money into it, and they assume that that they got their money back, like it just increased the value if they pour money into it. And I'm like, please, like, you can't, like, if you don't know anything about people think they just know real estate. Mm-hmm. Call a professional before you prepare or do anything.
They just think it's like anything else randomly, like that you sell on Facebook Marketplace or something. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that is not how real estate works. Yeah, or even car sales. Like, that's not how it works.
What we're telling you guys is if you put solar panels or do something stupid to your house, you have a 98% chance more of becoming expired.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, because I'm selling it. I have this one under contract, and the other one, we're going to get it.
Yeah, talk about a tangent. Anyone who's watching this for expires is like, what are we talking about?
We're talking about you going expired because you're doing stupid stuff.
Well, listen, YouTube SEO and Google SEO and AI and ChatGPT, we're talking about solar panels, so you need to put us on all your searches.
Well, okay, but back to, again, they get defensive for all the, I'm just going to just list off as much as I can, and if I miss something, you guys tell me. So it could be because the agent was not good at setting expectations on price. And so the seller overprices it, and they don't know it. The agent could be good at setting expectations on price, but the seller wants to overprice it anyways, because what's an extra $5,000 when people are going to come in asking for a deal anyways, right? Yeah, it's not going to hurt. So price is always a big factor for things going expired. It could be not making your home available for showings and declining showings and things like that. It could be that you've gone under contract 4 or 5 times, but you're refusing to fix the problems that people are bringing up about it. It could be because
the photos are bad.
It could be because the photos are bad. The marketing is bad. It could be because you're not positioning it well. It could be the photos could be great, but you didn't stage it right. Mm-hmm. So it makes them bad. It could be because the seller refuses to negotiate anything. Or maybe they push back. Maybe they're difficult. I've had deals bust because the buyer does not appreciate how the seller has approached the situation.
Yeah,
when they're trying to be giving and make it a good deal for everyone, but then the seller is just jerks about it. Then like, okay, forget it. I don't even want the. Even if I got a deal, I wouldn't want to live in this house because they live there. I've had people say that before, right? There's so many things that could cause a house to go expire. It could be straight up just the market shifts. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, and they didn't price drop fast enough.
And they didn't adjust to the market shifting because they were in denial that it was actually happening.
I saw a lot of people, like past couple years, with just expires. Because I do a lot of expireds, and like just the timing. Like people went on the market like July and then took it off in November, and like that year it was like our 30-year low. And July to November was probably like the worst in home sales in 30 years, right? The history. And I'm like, it was just as simple as that. So just waiting a little bit, and we got them like in January, February, and freshened up the marketing, and it's just a game changer.
There's been so many times where like we've almost pulled a listing and then we get a showing and get an offer.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's like people, again, it's so emotional And, you just have to try to, basically, you just have to educate them and set those expectations. And as long as you're being proactive and quit timing the market and just sell when you need to.
And quit using it as an excuse.
Don't be pulling it on and off. And
I talked to an agent yesterday, Jennifer and I did, and she did a contingency. We were under contract with her, and she was already just salty, and we're not extending the contract with her. And I totally not fighting my sellers, but she was so negative about everything, and she kept blaming the market and all this stuff. And you can't just do price drops like you normally do. Her listing is going to expire. And I'm going to call it because she is doing a terrible job for her clients. Terrible. And it's all her. It's all her. Just so negative in the market.
Did you just throw Jennifer under the bus? It's the seller?
No, it's the other agent that Jennifer and I talked to.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, what? No.
I was like, wait, is Jennifer doing this? Okay. I was like,
no,
whoa.
It was her. She's like, you can't just, get on the market and get showings and then do a price drop in 2 weeks like it used to. The price drops don't do much anymore. And
that's what this guy in my neighborhood's trying to tell me.
And then she's like, and days on market are just wrong. And I was like, I got to stop talking to you because otherwise you're going to hate me.
Yeah. Because I'm going to keep anything about
you
the
realize
market.
that
if you give me negativity, I can't help but give you positivity and a correction.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just realize it takes all kinds.
So
it does.
The point that I want to drive home, and then we'll move on to the next topic, is that when you think about an expired or you think about cold calling expireds, please know that there's a reason that it expired and that you are in there. As long as you go in with the mindset of figuring out what happened so that you can provide the value and set the right expectations to help get that home sold, that's all that it takes. Expired listings get relisted all the time and end up selling. So please don't have the mindset that, it was on the MLS before, and so what's the point?
And this next point is I think so good. Stop pitching before you diagnose. Listen. Don't show up and start pitching them stuff. Listen to them, because if they're already in a state of frustration and anger and stuff like that, sometimes they just want to vent and talk to somebody else that actually maybe might understand their situation. And sometimes that's the easiest way to convert a list or an expired listing is if you can ask them a good question and get them to open up and just tell you what's wrong with it. I like to ask, what do you think didn't or made it not sell?
What happened?
What happened?
That's that's in our script. I don't know what yours' script is, but if you don't have the question, what happened, or something around that idea, add it to your script, because you need to know from the seller's perspective what happened. It doesn't mean that that's what happened.
Yeah, but you still need to know, because now you know the person you're working with.
You got to know from their perspective what happened, even though you can look at it and be like, oh, these are cell phone pictures. The house is a mess. It's overpriced. And then you talk to the seller, and they might say, well, the dang agent didn't get any showings. That's what happened. The agent didn't know how to get any showings. And so
or they'll say they never showed it once.
They didn't even show it themselves one time.
So what I say to that is odds are they won't. And I don't know if they told you that in the beginning.
Yeah.
But most of the time they're not going to show it very often.
Yeah.
And that's because the odds are there's one of them and there's thousands of agents, and you hired them to get it in front of the other agents.
Yes, that part.
Now, so I'm not saying they did anything right or wrong, but I'm confident that I can help you get this property sold.
Well, also, I think that you got to reshape how they're thinking, because if somebody says that, then I think that they are used to an older version of real estate where the listing agent would show it like 30 years ago. Listing agents would show it quite a bit, right? But now you tell them, listen, that it used to be like that where listing agents would show it a lot, but now most of the time they don't, because companies like Zillow have come in and they sell our leads to the other agents. Right. And they get
that's a good one.
I'm marketing it, and they should be reaching out to me. And when they think they're reaching out to the listing agent, it's being sold to somebody else.
Yep.
So it's a lot harder for me to get that buyer. That's why most of the time it's going to be another agent. So again, reframe their thinking and help them understand like how it works now. Yes. They could have sold a house in the 80s and 90s, early 90s.
Or usually when people say that, they just Googled some random stuff.
Yeah.
Or chat GPT'd something or
told them like, yeah, absolutely. The listing agent can sell, like, because you can sell your own listing.
Well, and it's like,
don't you didn't ask the question the right way.
Don't you think I want to get both sides of this? Like, of course I do. But, my listings are sold to other people like we just discussed, and they get to benefit from my marketing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because you hired me to get your house sold, and that's what we're going to do. Yeah. But it's going to take both of us to do it, and I'm going to do ABC, and you're going to do XYZ.
But a lot of agents come in and they start pitching what they need to do to get the home sold.
Yeah.
And they have no clue what that seller thinks, what they believe was the issue. Because everything that you might be selling, they might have already heard it. And maybe the listing already had some of that stuff.
So then you move into motivation.
That part.
Mm-hmm. It's like, so yeah, they were doing everything right. You already heard all this. Okay, what really needs to happen here?
Well, I'm saying the agent make a mistake at if they start pitching. If they're pitching it without realizing the problem, like they got to diagnose the problem before they even go into motivation. So yes, motivation will be next, but why did this house not sell first? And you do that by asking questions and listening before you just start telling people how to sell a house, right?
I like to go in when I get the appointment is like, I'm just there to listen, and I don't say crap normally, and I'm going through the house. Well,
there's no way you show up and don't say anything.
I'm like, sign language, show me around. No, but I really try not to say very much. I'll ask questions to get them talking, but then I want to look around the house, and I always joke that I'm the nerd that I'm looking for like random problems. Like I ask like how old the roof is, how old the HVAC is. Most time you'd be surprised how many people have no idea how old their hot water tank is or HVAC is. And that's like an important question for if they want to get buyers, they do that. And so when I go look at some of that stuff, and sometimes I'm really fancy and I'm like, oh, you don't know? I have chat GPT pulled up and I just take a picture and I'm like, what's the year of this unit? And I'm like, by the way, it's 2017. And they're like mind blown every time. But anyways, I do that for a reason because I want them to see that like I'm listening to them, but I'm also like, I'm really observing their property to see like what's going on with it. And then sometimes I pull up their old listing and we talk about it together in front of them of what I think or whatever else. And then,
high value consultation builds trust faster than confidence alone. And it kind of goes hand in hand, like with don't just show up pitching, listen. And we can take this into, if you're going to do a consultation, now you're getting into motivation, and setting expectations at this point, right? So you've approached the conversation, you figured out what the reasons were. Now go into, okay, well, what is your goal? What do you hope to accomplish? Like, is there...
I want to net 100K.
Yeah.
That's it? That's the only goal?
It's going to be something like that. Yeah. But if you could try to get it past the money. So you're selling your house because what do you need the 100K for? Mm-hmm. That's what I'll say. Like, okay, so you want to net 100K. Is that why you're selling? You need the 100K to pay off some debt, or are you traveling somewhere? Are you trying to bail someone out of jail? What's going on? Why do you all of a sudden need 100K?
Yes.
And it's like,
no,
my job is relocating, to another state.
Yeah.
But I want to net 100K.
Yeah, I want to pay my car off. I want to pay my credit card debt. I want to put 20 in savings. And if I can't do that, then I'm just not going to move, even though they're getting relocated.
And I do get that from people because sometimes like for
that's part of the American dream, right?
Yeah, for the average people, like they only get to sell their house like once or twice, and like especially right now, a lot of people that bought before COVID, they have a lot. They have good interest rates and all of that, so like they know this is their one time to get a lot of money, and most of Americans are in debt, so they're like, this is the one chance, and I think people hold on to that without telling you.
Before you put those numbers in your head, talk to a real estate agent.
Yes,
so they can give you the number that's realistic, and if you don't trust that number, the realtor's number, then maybe talk to a couple different people.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong.
Well, you know what I like to say when I know that the 100K that they want is not realistic or whatever, is I'll make a joke and I'll say, "That's it? What if I could get you like $1 million? You wouldn't want $1 million?" And like, "Oh yeah, funny." And then I'm like, "Well, listen, if I
brings down their nerves."
Yep. And then I'm like, "Listen, if I could get you $1 million or whatever their number is, if I could get you 100K, 200K, I promise you, I would just sell my house first."
Yeah. Why make $1 million when you can make 100,000?
You do it like that. If they're old enough, they'll know what that reference is.
People forget too, and I'm like, listen, I would totally list your house for $100,000 over if I knew I could, because I'd make more money too.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So like, you should listen to me when I say drop the price.
My go-to is like when they're frustrated about how long it takes. It's like, okay, wouldn't you think that if I could sell every property I listed in one day, closed it, and get my paycheck, I would be rich.
I'd work 52 days a week or a year.
You know how much easier that would be?
So much easier.
It's crazy. And I just don't think they think about it. It's like, I'm not just trying to list properties and just have them sit and expire.
But I'll tell you, expires in general, if those of you that are listening, like, they're some of the easiest, best leads I think out there ever to get. They're just like, because not every agent is a listing agent. And most of the time I come in and when it expires, it's because it's some random person that listed a house and they just
didn't know what they were
doing.
They
didn't know what they're doing, because our industry in general, they hide that. Like, there's only so many listings out there compared to all the other real estate agents, and our whole industry trains real estate agents how to be buyer's agents, which is important. I'm not saying that, but there is a difference between somebody that knows how to list properties all the time versus they're driving around all the time with buyers. Like, there is differences and keys. And once you learn that skill, then man, you can really dominate with expired listings, because there's been times that, I mean, most of the time I think it's how they marketed it and the price, right? If the price is right, then most of the time I've just taken better photos and got it sold. And it's just something as simple as that, just because
if you list it the right way, it only comes down to price and the condition.
It takes a lot of skill to list it the right way, though, because a lot of people just don't have that skill set.
But once you know how to do it, it's easy.
It is.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It really is.
But everyone thinks it goes back to the original thought of, well, we just have to put it on the MLS. And because the public thinks that agents just put it on the MLS to get it sold, when an agent comes in and gets their license and there's not much training, they have that same, oh, well, I now have the MLS. I just got to stick it on the MLS.
Yeah, I want to say like, if I just stick it on the MLS, then what's this $300 bill from my photographer for?
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, what is that?
Yeah.
And that adds up. I will tell you, if you pay for your own photography, that's a huge expense. If you go out there and get listings and you don't do it the right way and you let them expire, I mean, that's a big P&L item for me every year.
With all my subscriptions and marketing and stuff, like I'm spending like between $2,000 and $3,000 every month. That's about $30,000 a year that is just gone.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, it's a write-off, but it's like, it's still money that like I would have loved to have.
Well, I think that people don't understand that. That's why we have to charge what we charge, because they think also we're supposed to get paid based on the amount of time and effort we put on their property. And I'm like, man, that's just a huge misconception. Yeah. Like we get paid for the work that we do outside of your property, you know, and just in preparation of meeting you and then getting your house sold. All the stuff that we have to be a part of to even be able to sell. You're hiring us for a service, and there's things that we need to provide that service. I just had an agent that was reached out to me, and the seller was refusing to pay the transaction fee because it was a really small property.
Which is when you need it more.
It was $20,000. Right, it was $20,000. I told the agent, I said, look, we actually lose money on those deals, and so we can't waive the transaction fee. We're not doing it. We found out that we are losing money on those deals, and so she went back to him and told him that. He goes, he's still saying no. And I said, okay, well then it's going to come off your commission. And she was only charging 3%, which that's like $600.
Yeah.
And so I said, so now you got 250, and then you got your split. So and then 80% of 250 is that's like what is that, 220 maybe, I think, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, now you got $75 just to put a sign in the yard.
Yeah.
Right. Then you're going to have, if you take any pictures whatsoever, now you're in the hole. And she thought about it. She goes, "You're right. I'm turning them down." And it was like what she needed to feel confident to be like, I don't have to do this just because the opportunity's in front of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she told him no.
And did he do it?
I don't know. I don't know from there. I just know that she told
Usually
him no.
when you just say no, I have to have it because of this, they're like, okay, that's cool.
Because that's people ask us all the damn time because they know that we make good money and they're not afraid to ask. So like we should also not be afraid to say no.
Yeah, I think that they think a lot of people are afraid.
They'll just do it.
They'll just cave and do it because most people will.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to negotiate. You can learn a lot about your agent if you push back a little and see if they're willing to negotiate.
You can say stuff like, well, hey, like, I want to treat all my clients the same. And if someone is only willing to pay me half of what I need to make it, then,
I'm not your agent.
Ask that question.
I can't put you in front of anybody and I can't treat you the same because I'm not as motivated. And any salesman needs motivation to close. I was like, now, if you really want a discount, like I can maybe do like 0.5% off, but like, I'm going to need you to sign today.
Yeah.
You got to get something for it.
Ask that question. It's like, listen, I care about you just as much as I care about the next person that needs to sell. And I want to do a good job for you. But if you want me to take half of my earnings away, are you willing to accept me giving you half of my attention, half of my effort so that I could focus on the people that are paying me full time? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
And then they're going to be like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not okay with that.
And you can go hire someone that'll give you, I mean, you can literally get whatever deal you want.
Yeah.
There's enough agents out there and there's no, whatever people think, there's no fixed pricing. So you can get whatever you want.
And be prepared for a seller to say, yes, I'm okay with you giving me half your energy.
I bet cool.
So,
cool. Let's get it going.
Let me scratch off some things of the listing agreement.
Let me go ahead and just pop these pictures real quick.
Like, I'm just going to take off half, but I would say, well, listen. Okay, well, if you are, then okay, well, I'm not willing to do half, but I'll come down to this, and then I'll apply what I think is that fair enough effort to earn that.
It also depends on the scenario.
Full.
If you're going to overprice it, I'm charging.
A trick I learned to make a lot more money is people don't want to tell you no twice, and so there are plenty of people that will.
Yeah.
But most people won't. So if you just say no and then they rebuttal and then you say no again, then they'll accept what you're offering. So just doing that alone will get you further.
Just fight people.
I'll take 10% of everything that you make from now on.
We do need to wrap it up.
Okay.
One other thing I was going to make a quick note. Like if you guys are doing expireds, make sure you have a somewhat of an idea of how a for sale by owner works too. Yeah. Because I have met probably like 50% of the expireds I run into, that's probably a high number. Now. They end up as a for sale by owner, or I'll go to for sale by owners and find out they're expired, and they're like they just didn't trust their agent. And they're like, I'll just do it my damn self, And it's like it's even worse then. So you really need to know how to do both to be successful at expireds.
Well, and to Brooke's point, originally she said, "Man, expireds are like the easiest lead that you could get." I think that what makes them really difficult for people is the very beginning. If you can overcome the mindset of picking up the phone and calling, number one, but number two, realizing that like it takes a lot of dials to get an expired on the phone. So if you call 10 numbers and you don't get anyone or the wrong person picks up, that's a mindset that you have to overcome so that you can then get to what Brooke is talking about, how easy they are once you can get to them. So
I like the emphasis on the easy
because
they really are. I just love expireds. Like I get genuinely excited because I have an assistant now, but I'll look at my calendar and I always go and click, and then I'm on the phone with Jennifer and I'm like, yes, it's an expired, because then we know we're getting the listing.
So just remember, it's all about the relationship. That's how you win.
And listen.
So we're signing off. Thanks for listening, watching. Thank you for subscribing and liking and commenting. And this is the Open Books Podcast. And I'm Casey Tuter. This is Curtis Haddock and Brooke Massey.